This is Celebration TV.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2019.
Senior Democrats have responded by accusing him of committing a gross offense.
The All Progressives Congress has vowed to punish the Ogun State Governor, Ibikunle Amosun.
Hello and welcome to Celebration Television News Desk. I am Obozegi Ruth and many thanks for joining us. Here are top stories for the day. On supply suspension, petrol scarcity hits border towns, fuel now 600 naira per litre. From foreigners in schools shut, riot police out as Hong Kong sees yet another day of unrest. On business, flour mills grows half-year profit to 5.9 billion naira. And then on sport, Okechukwu and Awoni in as Nigeria battle Zambia in make or mar games. The details of the news will come shortly after this timeout. Please do well to join us again. Petrol scarcity hits border towns, fuel now 600 naira per litre. Residents of border communities in Ogun, Lagos, Adamawa, Katsina and Sokoto states are groaning following the federal government's suspension of fuel supply to areas within 20 kilometers to the nation's borders. On Thursday, the Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Ahmed Ali, had directed that no petroleum products should be supplied to any filling station within 20 kilometers to the borders. In Ogun, Lagos, Adamawa, Katsina and Sokoto states, the government's order had triggered fuel scarcity and hike in the prices of petroleum products. Investigations shows that the federal government order had led to fuel scarcity in communities such as Ihobo, Ilesi, Ajegunle, Idoroko and Agusasa in the Ipokia local government areas of Ogun State. Also at the semi-border in Lagos on Monday, there were fuel queues as only 2 filling stations were selling fuel. Moving forward, the Ekiti State Governor, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, said on Monday that his administration spent his first year in office rebuilding the state and attending to projects that were abandoned by the predecessor. Fayemi said he deliberately tagged 2020 a year of deliverables since the state would witness inauguration of completed project. The governor, who spoke in Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti state capital, during an inspection tour of the ongoing project, also said his administration would soon begin the reconstruction of Ado Township roads, many of which had become deplorable as a result of lack of maintenance in the last 4 years. The year 2020 will be a year of project inauguration in large scale, the governor said. Fayemi also said that government had concluded plans to make the township roads motorable, but was delayed by the rains. In another local news, Senate rejects police budget over personnel figure. The Senate had said that documents supplied by the Nigeria Police Force during the budget defense did not indicate that the NPF had an accurate figure of its personnel. The revelation, according to the official Twitter handle of the Red Chamber at NGR Senate, was made known by the chairman, Senate Committee on Police Affairs, Senator Haliru Jika. Jika spoke while presenting the report of his committee to the Senate Committee on Appropriation. He told the chairman of the Appropriation Committee, Senator Baru Jibrin, that the confusion made his panel members to have a meeting with the chairman, Police Service Commission, Marcellus Smith. He said the panel also held meetings with the representatives of the Accountant General of the Federation and the Minister of Police Affairs. Smith, according to the report, was said to have told the lawmakers that the Nigeria Police Force headquarters was in a better place to say the exact figures of its personnel. The report added that the Minister of Police Affairs, Mohammed Dingyadi, told the Senate panel that the recruits were not on the police payroll. He said that as students, they would only be qualified to be on the payroll after their training. News from the international scene will be up next, so join us again. Welcome to International Scene on News Desk. Schools shut, riot police out as Hong Kong sees yet another day of unrest. Hong Kong is preparing for another day of turmoil Tuesday after a man was shot by a police officer and another set alight following a confrontation with protesters in one of the most dramatic days in over 5 months of protest. Authorities are calling for a calm after a day of clashes around the city on Monday that saw protesters haul petrol bombs, set fires, build barricades, and disrupt transport. More than 260 people were arrested as the protests went late into the night, police said in a statement. Some universities and schools have cancelled classes for today as protesters and riot police gathered in locations around the Asian financial hub. In a press conference Tuesday morning, Hong Kong's leader, Carrie Lam, called out aggressive rioters who, she said, were trying to disrupt the city's transport networks. Although some schools have shut for the day, Lam said the government is not officially suspending classes as it would give protesters what they wanted, which is to bring the city to a standstill. In another news from the international scene, Bolivia's Morales resigns after losing backing of security forces. Bolivian President Evo Morales resigned Sunday, caving in following 3 weeks of sometimes violent protests over his disputed re-election after the army and police withdrew their backing, sparking wild celebrations in La Paz. I resigned my post as president, the leftist Morales said in a televised address, capping a day of fast-moving events in which many ministers and senior officials quit as support for Latin America's longest-serving president crumbled and created a temporary leadership vacuum in the country. The streets of La Paz immediately exploded in celebration, with jubilant Bolivians setting off firecrackers and waving the country's red, yellow, and green flag. The main opposition candidate in the election, former President Carlos Mesa, said Bolivians have taught the world a lesson, adding that tomorrow Bolivia will be a new country. On business, Flour Mills grows half-year profit to 5.9 billion naira. The details of the news will come shortly after the timeout, so do well to join us again. And welcome to Business on News Desk. Flour Mills of Nigeria PLC has said its profit after tax increased by 16% to 5.9 billion naira for the 6-month period ended June 30th, 2019. The company said in its financial statement that it sustained growth in its profit after tax while it recorded a 6% growth in its volume. Profit before tax increased to 8.6 billion naira from 8.3 billion naira in the first half of the year 2018, while finance costs reduced by 21% to 8.8 billion naira compared to the 11.2 billion naira recorded in the same period in 2018. The company said despite the challenging operating environment and continuing pressures on the profitability of most companies in the fast-moving consumer goods sector, its financial statement reflected the management's strategy and commitment to growth and value creation. Away from that, the federal government's revenue from the non-oil sector rose to 1.36 trillion naira in the third quarter of the 2019. The Central Bank of Nigeria disclosed this in its economic report for third quarter report. The CBN said non-oil revenue gross at 1.36 trillion naira rose above the quarterly budget of 1.34 trillion naira by 1.4%. It similarly rose above the level in the preceding quarter by 28.0%. The higher non-oil revenue relative to the quarterly budget was as a result of increased receipts from corporate taxes and improvements in the collection of the Nigeria Customs Service. The report said the gross oil revenue at 1.34 trillion naira or 49.6% of the total receipt was below the quarterly budget by 44.6%, but was above the receipts of the preceding quarter by 9.9%. However, the decline in oil revenue relative to the quarterly budget was due largely to shortfalls in all the components of oil revenue except domestic crude oil and gas sales. On sports, Ndidi makes EPL Team of the Week. The details of the news will come shortly after this timeout. Please join us again. And welcome to Sports Scene on News Desk. Super Eagles and Leicester City combative midfielder Wilfred Ndidi has been listed in English Premier League Team of the Week by popular statistics website WhoScored.com. Ndidi is one of the Leicester's 3 players in the list. Others are Ricardo Pereira and in-form midfielder James Maddison. Their selection came after the Foxes' 2-0 win over Arsenal on Saturday. And they almost got his name on the scorer's sheet, but his first half effort hit the woodwork against the Gunners. In a 4-4-2 formation, the Nigerian international is in midfield alongside teammate Madison, who has scored more goals from outside the box than any other player in the Premier League this season. In another sport news, House of Commotion, Gunners star queries Aubameyang's captaincy. A number of Arsenal players have reportedly questioned the decision to hand the club captaincy to Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Earlier this month, Granit Xhaka was stripped of the skipper's armband as a result of his angry outburst towards supporters who cheered his substitution against Crystal Palace. While it has been suggested that a Gabon international is a welcome replacement, the Athletic claims that the appointment of the forward has been queried by some of his teammates. The report says that three are concerned over Aubameyang's links to an unofficial YouTube channel which focuses on the Gunners. Aubameyang has liked a number of posts on the account, which some players of staff feel has contributed to the negativity at the Emirates Stadium. As a result of having just over 18 months left on his contract, Aubameyang is also being linked with a future exit from the Premier League outfit. Lastly, on sport and as well as on news desk, Okechukwu and Awoniyi in as Nigeria battles Zambia in make or mark game. Nigeria must beat Zambia today if they desired a place in the semi-finals of the ongoing African Under-23 Nations Cup holding in Egypt. A win will not put the Under-23 Eagles automatically in the last four, but it would boost their chances of making it going into the last group game against South Africa. Nigeria lost their first group game against Cote d'Ivoire to stand in their current precarious position where they must win all their remaining pool games to survive. And to this end, coach Imama Amakpakobo's task has been boosted by the arrival of two key players, Captain Azubuike Okechukwu and star forward Taiwo Awoniyi. The duo were conspicuously absent in the opening Group B match, in which the Under-23 Eagles could not find their image, their range. It is assumed that Azubuike's presence in the midfield will shore up Nigeria's rear, while Awoniyi's presence has the ability to convert dances into goals. Now that's the size of the news today on Celebration Television News Desk, but in case you're just joining us or you missed out on any of the news items, here are top stories again. On supply suspension, petrol scarcity hits border towns, fuel now 600 naira per litre. On foreign scene, school shut, riot pleas out as Hong Kong sees yet another day of unrest. On business, flour mills grows half-year profit to 5.9 billion naira. Lastly, on sport, Okechukwu and Awoniyi in as Nigeria battles Zambia in make or mark game. Be afraid on our social media platforms. On Facebook, we are Celebration TV. On Instagram, My Celebration TV. On Twitter, @Celebration TV. On YouTube, Celebration TV. Many thanks for being with us on News Desk today. I am Obozege Ruth, and do have a wonderful Tuesday ahead. Goodbye for now.
To 15.7 trillion naira at the end of December 2018.
Senior Democrats have responded